Hi, we're here with Varun Verma from the Backup Exec team to discuss protecting SharePoint servers with Backup Exec. So Varun, let's hand it over to you.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. And yes, today I'm going to talk about Backup Exec 15 support for SharePoint protection. But before I talk about the backup and recovery support, let's touch upon why protection of SharePoint is so very critical to backup admins. So SharePoint, everybody knows that it's a #1 collaboration tool on the planet today. And most of the folks cannot afford a downtime of the SharePoint data. So everybody wants SharePoint always to be up and running at all times with no time for backup windows. So that is one thing which makes life a little tough for backup admins, right? So what Backup Exec offers as SharePoint protection is a wide variety of propositions. So it's a solution. Backup Exec is a solution designed for SharePoint protection. It's a comprehensive support. So it supports both virtual as well as physical SharePoint protection. So this is a typical diagram. It might or might not reflect something which is in your environment, but it's just an example diagram out here. So your physical SharePoint generally looks like this. With top of the armor, you have web front-end servers. Middle stack is occupied by application services, and the lower panel is occupied by SQL databases. So this is a typical one. This is even supported for a virtual deployment, by the way. Similar configuration. So that is all supported by Backup Exec, and that is all supported for granular protection as well. And but there's few components which are required for the entire gamut of protection by Backup Exec. So the first component is the Backup Exec server itself. So this is the backup brain behind the entire thing. So this guy owns the entire backup process. Here you can make the SharePoint backup selections, the restore selections. This guy owns and deploys the next component, which is the agent for Windows, which, by the way, must be installed on all SharePoint servers and all SQL database servers involved in the SharePoint farm. So you need to have this guy, agent for Windows, on SQL servers and your front-end servers. So you need to have this agent for Windows on all participating SharePoint servers and your SQL servers. So that's pretty much about the components. One more thing, the last component and a vital one, which is again on the Backup Exec server itself, is the agent for application and database. So you need to have that agent licensed and running on the Backup Exec server. It's not some agent which you need to push to any of the virtual or physical host. It simply needs to be installed. It's a licensing component. It simply unlocks the capability of the Backup Exec server for you to protect and recover SharePoint data.
Great information, Varun. A quick question, if you don't mind. Can you discuss for a minute what versions of SharePoint are supported by Backup Exec 15?
So yes, so Backup Exec supports all the latest and whatever there is in the market deployed today. So Backup Exec supports SharePoint Server 2010 and 13, SharePoint Foundation Server with the same versions. Even Windows SharePoint Server 3.0 is supported. We go as long as 3.0 to properly make sure that you are protected by Backup Exec. So that was pretty much what we support.
Great. Sounds like you got a lot of versions of SharePoint covered. One more question. What about recoverability? So on the restore side, talk about that for a minute if you don't mind.
So great question, Bill. And when it comes to recovery, we have a very flexible recovery. So we support an entire farm, recovering an entire farm down to individual SharePoint components, such as individual documents or individual document versions. So we even support restoring something like that. And you can even do a redirected restore of SharePoint data to an alternate location of your choice. So pretty much a wide variety of recovery options are supported by Backup Exec.
All right. Well, Varun, thank you. This has been a great explanation of Backup Exec's protection abilities for SharePoint. I hope you've had an informative time being with us today. So thank you.
Thank you.